Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, October 26th. A lot going on in the world of weather as we approach the end of the month of October. We have a hurricane over the Caribbean that could become a major hurricane later on today. We have a snowstorm developing over the Colorado Rockies and a couple of shots at some snow in the Mid-Atlantic region over the next few days. One by later on in the day tomorrow as colder air presses in along with the first low pressure area, and then the threat still exists for a coastal storm on Saturday that could actually throw some cold rain and some snow on parts of the Mid-Atlantic early part of this weekend. Let's first take a look at Hurricane Rina. It continues to churn slowly to the west in the western part of the Caribbean. It is headed for landfall over the northern part of the Yucatan Peninsula probably by about tomorrow morning or so. However, it will stay over land only for a brief time before it starts to make a loop back to the north and then to the east, headed towards the area between northern Cuba and South Florida. Everybody in South Florida should be on alert as this storm very likely will head in a general direction towards the western southernmost Keys, like Key West, for example, by about Saturday. Now, it will weaken somewhat as it crosses over the Yucatan Peninsula, and that's a fortunate thing. However, it will be such a slow mover that there could be heavy rain for a few days in the southern part of Florida, or including the Keys, and this will be mostly Friday, Saturday, maybe even into the day on Sunday. So again, we'll continue to monitor this. It actually makes that loop as an upper level trough starts to head towards the east coast, and that all plays a role in the potential coastal storm that could affect parts of the Mid-Atlantic on the weekend. Well, let's get back closer to home here in the continental U.S. with the latest surface map. A lot going on here. First of all, a snowstorm developing right now across many of the Colorado Rocky Mountain locations. Significant snow will fall, perhaps up to a foot of snow in some of the higher elevations here in Colorado. All of this as a result of very cold air pouring in from the north all the way down into the central plains right now. And this particular colder air mass will make its way all the way across the country. This storm will pull out and ride right along this frontal system over the next couple of days and spread some rain here into the Mid-Atlantic region from late tonight throughout much of the day tomorrow on Thursday. Showers are possible around here in the Mid-Atlantic anytime from later on this afternoon through this evening, but the steadiest rain will be late tonight and tomorrow, even into tomorrow night, as colder air then presses into the Mid-Atlantic region. Meanwhile, out in St. Louis, where Game 6 is scheduled to be played tonight in St. Louis, there's a threat of rain from this cold frontal passage. If they do play, it'll be quite nasty with cold conditions and northerly winds, but there is the threat of rain for Game 6 of the World Series. Denver, just a couple of days ago, was about 80 degrees. Now they're having a snowstorm out there. Not too unusual for the month of October, as these dramatic temperature changes do occur out in that part of the country. Well, here's the latest IR satellite loop. A few things going on. First of all, way down here in the south, we have some clouds from Hurricane Rina already spreading northward into the southeastern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Over the continental U.S., we have this area of clouds stretching all the way from the Mid-Atlantic coast, actually the New England coast, all the way into the Central Plains, and a wide band of clouds here associated with this developing snowstorm out in the Colorado Rockies. There are some showers and thunderstorms all the way along this front right now. In fact, we could have a few showers later on this afternoon and early tonight in the Mid-Atlantic region, but the steadiest rain will wait for this low pressure area out in the middle part of the country to head on into our region late tonight and through the day tomorrow. Well, let's walk through the interesting possibilities for the latter part of the week. This will be the GFS computer forecast maps for Thursday morning, Friday morning, and then Saturday morning. Again, a couple different low pressure areas. The first on the front end of the cold air mass that's moving in, headed our way into the Mid-Atlantic region. And then the second, a coastal storm possibility for Saturday after the cold air has already entrenched in the Mid-Atlantic region. This is for Thursday morning, tomorrow morning. There is an area of steady precip headed our way for much of the day tomorrow throughout much of the Mid-Atlantic region. Now notice this blue line here kind of represents the rain-snow line and the cold air mass pouring in from the north to the south as this first wave passes on by. In fact, Later in the day tomorrow and tomorrow night, some of the rain could change over to snow in places like from State College to the Poconos, up into interior New York State, all the way up into western Massachusetts, for example. They could even get some accumulations up in the southern part of Vermont or western Massachusetts by the time late Thursday night rolls around, as this colder air drops to the south and east, brought in by this first wave of low pressure that will give us some steady rain late tonight and tomorrow. Well, here's the GFS forecast map for Friday morning. By this time, that first wave of low pressure has moved on by way to the north and east of the Mid-Atlantic region now. High pressure has moved in. It is a cold high pressure, and Friday looks like a rather decent day in terms of sunshine, but very chilly air temperatures. And notice this blue line here kind of represents the rain-snow line has dropped way to the south and east of the big cities in the Mid-Atlantic region as that cold air moves in. Now let's jump ahead to Saturday morning. Well, this is actually the GFS for Saturday around midday, and it does have a coastal low here that has shifted a little bit farther to the north and west, kind of as expected. The last few runs of the GFS model had the storm way off the coast. Last night's run has shifted things more to the north and west, kind of like what the European model has been hinting at, and it is throwing back some precipitation into the big cities from New York all the way down to Washington. And again, it's cold enough, even this time of the year, even though we're not through the month of October, it's cold enough that some snowflakes could actually mix in all the way down into the big cities from this potential coastal storm on Saturday. So lots of interesting things going on here. Stay tuned. We'll update things over the next couple of days. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.